Got a little bit of drama going on in the Algorand space around Algorand's CTO. We are going to cover that today, and I'm going to give you my thoughts because I think they're a little different from what's being said. Also, we're going to talk about how you can now provide liquidity on Alpha Arcade. Announcement on Algorand's move coming soon. Move to the US, that is. We might find out why very quickly. Hasab Pay offers online functionality. We're going to talk a little bit about what Hasab Pay is for those that don't know. Algorand added to this smart contract fund, and I think that's a really exciting thing. So we're going to talk about all of that on today's Frugal BC. We're going to get to this drama, and I think it's good. I think it's good to talk about because I think it's good to put some things in perspective more so than simple drama farming. But if you like these videos, you like these updates on Algorand, please hit that like and subscribe button. Remember, you don't have to smash it. You can actually just press it gently. Works just fine that way too. By the way, we're brought to you by Haystack, the mobile app that makes trading on Algorand easier than anywhere else, cheaper than anywhere else. It's your best bet, and I've been using it like crazy. It's wonderful. So check that out in the description below. And we are brought to you by Marcus Aurelius, a meme coin and NFT project on the Algorand blockchain. And you can, they're spreading the word about Stoicism, which I think is a really cool mission. Great founder. Both of these guys are great founders. So, definitely give them a shout out in the link below. And otherwise, in fact, I think I have the link for Haystack. I think you might have seen that. And apologies for the weekend's videos. They were much lower quality than I realized when I took clips from the live stream, and our live stream was really choppy for some reason on Friday. So we'll definitely get that checked. We'll get that fixed, and apologies for that. But let's get to today's show. First, I want to talk about how you can provide liquidity on Alpha Arcade. Yeah, this is right from Alpha Arcade itself, which is a prediction market built on the Algorand blockchain where you can place bets. Not really bets, but you buy predictions on chain. Anyway, liquidity provider rewards are now live for NFL and NBA in-game trading. Place bets within the spread during your favorite games and earn US dollar coins straight to your wallet every hour. View rewards and learn more. Now, this has been the Alpha token, by the way, has been one of my best plays. I've talked about this earlier. $100 experiment basically turned into somewhere between $500 and $600, depending on when I've checked this weekend. Definitely been bucking the market trend, and they keep building. And by the way, you get USDC rewards for holding the token, but you also get, the price has gone through the roof. So just a little shout out to Alpha Arcade. But let's get to our next item, and that is an announcement on Algorand's move to the USA coming soon. Now, we heard something about this during the roadmap event that Algorand, now that the US is supposed to have a fairly positive environment for crypto, that Algorand would be moving here to take advantage of truly being a US-based crypto. We learned something this week about that, so let's see what this has to say. And this started off with a tweet from Thomas saying, "Hey, Algo Foundation, you should probably update your LinkedIn location now that you moved to the US." Now, I thought that was strange because I was like, wait a minute, when did they say they moved to the US? I know that was in the roadmap, but I don't believe it happened yet. Well, Mikkel from the foundation says, not there yet, LOL, huge announcement around this on the way. We'll announce the state and something else really cool when it's finalized. So that makes me think that it's coming fairly soon. Keep an eye out. And this is kind of a good point. Algo Tard here says, they were almost never in Singapore. Algorand Foundation's office is located there, probably because of the SEC under Gary Gensler, but mainly for tax purposes. Stacey is mostly in Washington, D.C., and her staff are global remote workers. That is also true. So very curious to what state they're going to go in. I know a lot of people think Wyoming just because it's been very pro-crypto. And I think there's a couple others now that are starting to be more pro-crypto. It's probably not going to be New York, which has like some of the most stringent crypto regulations, so you probably won't see it go there. But I could see Wyoming, or maybe Florida. I think Florida's been pretty, especially Miami's been pretty crypto. We'll see. It's probably going to be one of these, so keep an eye out for that. Looks like the announcement is coming soon. And you guys know I've been a big fan of Hasab. Now, the Hasab is like in Afghanistan. It is basically Afghanistan's version of PayPal that is built on the Algorand blockchain, just offered offline functionality. Let's dive a little deeper into this. Great news, the Hasab Pay app is now accessible without the internet too. With this feature, you can easily perform your financial transactions from the Hasab Pay app in offline mode as well. Now, that's really, really helpful. I'm a big fan of this app because it's actually doing something real in the real world. You know, it's like solving a real problem, allowing people a permissionless way to pay their bills, especially in Afghanistan where women don't always have access to banks. Well, we're at it. I wanted to show this as well. This is that MoneyGram services at Hasab Pay agencies are no longer limited to receiving. You can now send your MoneyGram remittances through Hasab Pay agencies to any point in the world, which is cool. One thing I've been hoping for is a crypto version of something like MoneyGram or Western Union, because they charge like crazy fees. And to me, this should be able to be done very inexpensively through crypto. Can't really see why that hasn't happened yet. I think a quick payment app that's not crypto, but is like really simple for people to use, but runs on crypto rails could be very, very helpful. So that's just something I'm thinking about. I hope, it seems like Hasab Pay might be set up to actually do something like that. So keep an eye out for that. Next up, we learned that Algorand was added to this smart contract fund, which is pretty bullish in my opinion. Let's take a look. Pure Pension shared this one, said Algorand is listed in Smart Contracts Leaders Fund from Van Eck. Now, Van Eck, a big player in this space. Under the smart contract platforms, you see Ethereum, Cardano, Polkadot, Solana, Near, Tron, Avalanche, Algorand, Tezos, Phantom, Sui, and Aptos. So all those chains included under its smart contract platforms. Maybe this isn't the hugest deal in the world, but I do think it's worth pointing out that Algorand, a lot of people have been asking for an Algorand specific ETF. I just don't think we're that far down the market cap table yet. We just saw an HBAR ETF, and that's been doing very well. At some point, it could work its way down there, but I think we're a little ways from that, especially since, we might not have quite the alt season that we were hoping for. But let's get to this last piece of news. I want to share a little bit of this drama with the new Algorand CTO. It is Nick Bougalis, who came from XRP. I thought it was a pretty good get. I still think that some people didn't like his comments about X recently. I kind of think it's a nothing burger, frankly, but I do think it's worth discussing about why I think it's a nothing burger. So why don't we just dive in here? So I came across this and it said, someone get Nick Bougalis some PR training, absolute disaster class. How smart people are so dumb will never cease to amaze me. And it kind of goes back to here. So let's go all the way to the beginning. Nick had tweeted, I'm not sure why, but X simply refuses to show me the invite to join the Algorand Foundation organization. Seems really strange to me. Like, why shouldn't he be able to join? He's part of the Algorand Foundation. He should be covered under their umbrella. It makes sense. Now I have an Alpha Arcade badge, and they can extend you a badge if you like, and that's not super. That's like $50 a month for them, and it gives you some more reach. So it was nice of them to do that, I suppose. Well, it was. I mean, yeah. Anyway, Simon, who's a Cosmic Champs guy, said, God forbid you pay for a service that you use daily from 2008, as that would allow your account to have a wider reach and help promote Algorand more. I hope the ideology convictions don't play a role in business decisions also. I do want to point out, I don't know that Nick is necessarily making business decisions as much as he's making technology decisions, but we're going to get to that when I kind of go to the broader ecosystem here. Twitter gets plenty of value from my use of the platform they provide, not because they're nice, but because their business model is based on users and their data being the product. Hope this helps. Simon said, not having verified X reduces your reach in discussions. Your comments are prioritized lower. And for an example, a great point made by Algorand Foundation CTO on a relevant topic that gets lost under tons of low quality accounts. For me, that's significant when Algo struggles with exposure. Yeah, I'm going to address that in a second. It says, that's a fair point. Honestly, I don't think a blue check mark is the missing piece to that problem, or that paying a monthly fee is the solution. I kind of agree with that. Any insightful comments I can make here, I can, if necessary, be amplified by the foundation, which I just think that should be covered by the foundation. It's mostly going to be benefiting their workflow. I mean, I can see the point of having your own anyway, and as I said, I find Twitter not to be a useful medium for the kind of content that is, in my opinion, relevant for us. Brevity may be the soul of wit, but it's also not conducive to meaningful, nuanced conversations or communicating complex topics in depth. I don't know if I agree with that. By the way, I see a check mark now. So the little check mark thing apparently has been resolved. He must have changed his mind. Elder Reno said, I think if you pay, you also don't have the same character limit. Might make more sense for a representative of a large org to go outside and fork over the $15 or whatever. People keep thinking it's about the dollar amount. He gets mad about virtual signaling, this whole thing. Yeah, it just kind of went out of control. But it looks like he did actually now pay for the check mark, and he didn't. Doesn't look like he said anything about okay, I got the check mark, whatever. So he does have the check mark now. But the main point I want to make is I think people thought it was like very normal to have the chief technology officer be a very front facing person because John Allen Woods was. I think most of the time that's not the case. Most of the time, you're really not going to have your chief technology officer being like the PR person. So the idea that he should have PR training, I think, is a little weird actually, because I think, I don't think Nick is really hired for that. I think he's hired to build the chain behind the scenes. It just happened that John Allen Woods happened to be a very charismatic person as well as a very technically gifted person, and so he was able to do both roles. Especially since I think a lot of people realize that maybe Stacey Warden isn't the best front-facing person for the foundation. She tends to, kind of rub people the wrong way. I think that's pretty clear. And, I just think when we think about this stuff, X isn't real life. We got to stop worrying about X so much. Like, listen, it's fun. It's nice to build an audience on there. It's nice to have a place to kind of express yourself. But if you think like the foundation's CTO tweeting on X is going to save Algorand, I got news for you. I just don't think that's going to happen. So anyway, that's my thought on the situation. I thought it was just a little interesting point of discussion. Again, apologies for the videos over the weekend. I don't know what happened, why the frame rate was so low through a lot of that. So I apologize for that, but I hope everyone's doing well out there. It's nice to see the prices going in the correct direction a little bit today. So that's positive. But anyway, I hope you guys have a good day out there. Hope you're staying safe and minding your crypto well. Otherwise, I'm Frugal BC, and I will see you in the future.